60% of the homes actively for sale in the greater Charleston area have been on the market for over a month. What happened? What's up, everybody? Welcome back, or welcome to if it's your first time joining me. I am Bill Olson, your favorite YouTubing Charleston realtor. Today we're going to be talking about the shift in the market and why homes are taking so much longer to sell. Now first I want to look back real quick so that I can put this into perspective for you. Now, since March of 2021, we have not seen a month with a median days on market go above 5 days. And right now, over 1,600 of the 2,800 homes for sale have been sitting there for longer than a month. And of those 1,600, the median is 65 days. It is taking a median 2 months for a lot of these homes to sell, where we were at 5 days. So what exactly happened? Well, we're gonna look at this from 2 different angles. And while these angles are completely different, the second part is a result of the first. And it's that second part that you really don't want to miss, because I can pretty much guarantee it's not going to make me many new friends in the real estate industry. Before we get started, I want to know what you're seeing. Let us know down in the comments whether you're in Charleston or outside of Charleston, where are you and what are you seeing in this market? Are homes still selling in that 4, 5, 6 days, or are we a month, 2 months, 3 months for things to sell? Like, we'd love to hear from you. Let's compare notes down below. But now we're really going to get into this of what's happening here. Now, the first part of this is the most obvious, and anywhere you look, whether it's YouTube, the newspaper, the news on TV, you are seeing this, and that is talking about the shifting market. Now, I do want to take a note that I said shifting market, not crashing market. Because of this shift, it has caused a lot of buyers to drop out of the buyer pool, and some have moved down in price points because of these rates. And even before that, we were seeing buyers drop out because of buyer fatigue, and they couldn't compete in such a competitive market. So naturally, supply and demand, less buyers has created more homes for sale. So less demand, more supply usually means it takes longer for things to sell. Now, while this is a big part of the picture, it's not the whole picture. This is just the part that everybody is talking about. It's this next part that I'm seeing in the market that I feel have compounded these effects, that have created the snowball effect to why things are taking so much longer. After I'm finished, I would love to hear what you have to think about with what I'm about to say. Whether you're a consumer or another real estate agent watching this video, I want to know what you're seeing or not seeing with what I'm about to talk about. So we've talked that the shifting market creates more supply or more homes for sale, but what that also creates is more competition. And this more competition, I feel, is where some problems lie, because we aren't used to it. Sellers aren't used to it, and a lot of agents are not used to having to compete. Over the past 2 years, sellers have watched their friends, their family, their neighbors all put their homes on the market, and then watch them laugh all the way to the bank while they cash their huge check. They saw pictures of buyers lined up down the street. They heard stories of buyers bringing cash to the table so that they could get a home over appraised value. People were telling them, you don't have to do anything to sell your home. There are buyers, the market will sell it. So these sellers think that they're gonna go to market, pick a price, they're gonna make over it and not have to do anything. But in reality, you have to remember that buyers aren't dumb. The consumer today is more informed and more educated than they ever have been. These buyers can smell an overpriced home a mile away. It's just over the past 2 years, they didn't care. They needed a home. They were getting desperate. But the buyers today, they have more time. They're not desperate. They're not fatigued. They haven't been beat out with 10, 15, 20 offers that they've lost on homes that they've loved. They're not willing to just pay for anything because they need it. They're not gonna pay for an overpriced home. I said overpriced, not overvalued. That is a whole different subject for a whole nother video on a whole nother day. So the more a seller overprices a home, the less chance a buyer is going to want to go see it. They're not going to want to go see an overpriced home. So the buyers are going to do one of two things. They're either going to wait for the seller to come to their senses and lower that price, probably after a month on the market, or they're going to make an offer on that home that the seller is going to perceive as a lowball offer, when in reality, it is a fair market value offer. And I don't want you to think that I'm just picking on sellers here, because I am not. And this is that very controversial part of the video I was talking about. And it does start with this pricing, because this pricing is not all on the sellers. Yes, it's their house, but when they're listing with the real estate agent, that agent is advising them on where to price their home. One tactic that is not new to the real estate industry and will continue to be around forever is what we call buying the listing. This is when an agent gives a seller an inflated list price because they know they're going up against other real estate agents and they want that seller to hire them. So they dangle more money in front of their face saying, I can sell your home for more, where they know that that home will be overpriced. They just want that listing. So while the pricing is ultimately decided by the seller who owns that home, there is a lot to blame on their real estate agent who ill-advised them on where to price the home to sell as quick as possible. So while it is still possible to list and sell over the comps and over what that market value could be, there's one big difference on why and why they don't sell. And it comes down to one thing: marketing. You see, over the past 2 years, a lot of realtors, both new and old, took advantage of this hot market. They figured that they only needed two things to sell a home: a for sale sign and a hammer to put it in the yard. Oh, and a social media post to brag about how their marketing was so good that they sold it in 12 hours with 30 offers over asking price. But that's not the market anymore. This market demands marketing. And it's because of this that I still think buyers can get a fantastic deal if they just paid attention to the marketing. So hear me out. I've recently dug into a lot of expired listings over the past month. And I wasn't just looking at the prices. In fact, I didn't look to see if they were overpriced at all. That's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see what the marketing was. And you want to know what I found? Actually, it's what I didn't find. Most of the photos on these listings were terrible. Buyers buy with their eyes online first. That is your first line of defense. I saw way too many crooked photos, bad angle photos, cell phone photos, reflections of people in mirrors, or just standing in the room. I even saw one with the date down at the bottom. Like, do cameras even do that anymore? But the glaring thing that I couldn't find in just about any of them was video marketing. We know that a majority of all internet traffic has to do with video. I mean, heck, you're watching one right now. Even Instagram, a photography app, recently said that they are focusing all their attention on video. Why? Because that's what the viewer wants. That is what the consumer wants. A video will show more emotion than just a photo. You'd think that a seller would want an agent to do a video of their home, and that's just not happening. Especially in these multi-million-dollar homes. That actually surprised me the most, that there was one over $3 million home that the only video I could find was a slideshow video that an agent did 10 years ago when they listed that home. And now buyers, here's where you really need to listen up, because this is where you can find a good deal. I need you to pay attention to the marketing on a home. Pay attention to those photos. You're going to be attracted to all the pretty photos, and those are awesome homes. But next time you see that home with the blurry photos, the crooked photos, the ones that kind of make you cringe, they're so bad, I want you to take a second look at that house. Call your agent. If you don't have an agent, call me, and let's go look at it. Because chances are, a lot of other buyers have passed up on that home because they were not emotionally moved by those photos. They figured if the photos are that bad, the home is that bad, which isn't always the case. So if you're the only one getting in there, you're the only one writing an offer, you're not competing against anybody, and that is where the buyer gets a good deal. Here's where I need to hear from you. Are you seeing this in your market? Is it a combination of sellers overpricing their home because of what happened, combined with agents not doing their job to market that home to fetch that price? Or do you think it's just the shifting market? You know where I stand. We need to hear where you stand down in the comments. Thanks for attending my TED Talk. If you enjoyed this video, I really think you're going to enjoy this one right here. So go ahead, click on that one, click over here, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on that video.